remember whose name.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Morning Joe with Christina and Brooke. Hi. Got a little waves going on today. We're going to be talking about rhythm, organization, structure, and having a schedule, but then also what that looks like when it doesn't go as planned and how we feel about that and what we do to get ourselves back on track. So I'm going to kick it off to Joe to start for us this morning.
Awesome. Thanks, Christina. We were talking about this and trying to figure out what would be the best way to think about rhythms. My mind just kind of went to like a very broad, general sense of like the routines that I have in place that hopefully allow me to feel like I'm getting the things done that I'm wanting to get done. And that could be like with anything. It could be work things, it could be life things, family things, being a dad, being a husband, being a good coworker, all those things. And unfortunately, just because of life, I don't know what that looks like well right now. Like, I don't know what it looks like to execute that in any kind of real way because I'm really not in a great place with my rhythm or with the routines. There are some areas where things are going pretty well. There's also others where it's like, man, I just don't feel like I'm getting anything done in the way that I want to. Like I'm walking around just feeling like I'm falling short on the things that I'm trying to prioritize. And I think, one of the funny themes that you and I always talk about that we're always kind of throwing around one another that I have to kind of internalize is that that's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Like, it's okay that, last week I might have not gotten the things done that I wanted to, that there were a lot of check boxes that were still left unchecked that just didn't quite get done. And something that I was just kind of thinking about was just maintaining kind of the understanding and the truth, kind of being grounded in the reality that I was kind of like that before this whole virtual thing too. Like this isn't necessarily a new occurrence for me. It's not like, man, I was so on top of life. And then we went virtual and now who knows what's happening. No, I was a little messy before. And there were things that I wasn't all that organized with. And I guess just maintaining a realistic look at life and maintaining the flexibility of, okay, so last week didn't quite go the way that I wanted it to. My rhythms were off. My routine wasn't quite great. There were things that I didn't quite get to that I wanted to. And maybe some things that I didn't want to spend so much time on that I did, Netflix, video games. But next week's a new week. Tomorrow's Monday. Today's Sunday evening. I have some time tonight to try to look at what didn't go well and then how to remedy that. And maybe it's as simple as just picking, one or two things to focus on that maybe especially slipped through the cracks. But I think those are kind of where my thoughts were, right? The idea that I'm not doing all that great right now with my rhythms and my routines. It has to be okay because it was okay before we went virtual. It was okay. It was kind of a part of how life was. I was just I'm putting a little bit of undue pressure on myself. And that ultimately just never losing sight of tomorrow's a new day, right? And that's been an ongoing theme with us is like, okay, what's the next thing? What's the action item? How do we try to improve? I think that's where my brain has been. So I'd love to know, I know, Brooke, you always have a lot of great thoughts about everything. What have you been noticing just with you and routines and rhythms, and help me? How do I get better? Please save me.
Well, you hit on a lot of amazing things, Joe, and I can totally agree with you. It's like you typically, as a coach, I like to create SMART goals with my clients: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. However, you got to be flexible in these times. So, by definition, rhythm is a strong, regular, repeated pattern, right? So, it's hard to keep a regular, strong, and repeated pattern in an irregular, unprecedented time, right? So, you may feel like you have your rhythm one day, but not the next day. And that's okay. We're all in this together. I mean, listen, we were just talking about how DeSantis on Saturday decided to tell everyone that schools are going to be shut down and virtual for the rest of the school year in Florida. And, like it may have thrown off your rhythm, Christina and Joe, as educators in a school on getting that message on a Saturday, especially when Saturday and Sunday could be a day of rest for some people. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, that was a really good point, Brooke. Do you mind? Jump in?
Go for it. Jump.
I had a lot to say about that. I'm so glad you brought that up. What we're finding with our teachers, and Joe's had lots of meetings with them throughout the week, is that they feel like there's no start and stop time because they're at home. It's there. There's always work. So for me, when I heard that notification come on a Saturday, I kind of revolted a little bit. And I was like, no, I'm not going to hustle and bustle and speak with the DVP and get approvals to get a letter out to teachers, to get a letter out to families. It's Saturday. Let's let them have their day of rest and not think about what is happening throughout the week with school. I'm not going to send a school-based letter on a Saturday evening when the messaging that they've received is already that this is until further notice. So in my mind, nothing has changed at this point. So let's just hold, enjoy the rest of our time off, create those clear boundaries. And on Monday morning, we'll get on top of handling it and getting those communications out in business hours, because there's no end. It's all the time, and people need a break from that.
And I love how you said boundaries, breaks, there's no end. So how do we create boundaries and breaks and ending points, right? So in a time where Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday all seem like the same day, right? I'm sure you guys have seen the memes, it's all the same day. How do we create something that's a break, that's something for ourselves, get out of this hole of every day being the same? So what I've noticed in my client, so you're going to say something?
Yes, but you could totally go first.
No, you go.
I was just, there was a teacher that I met with this past week who did a really good job of like articulating what I was hearing from so many other teachers. And we talked about this earlier, the idea that like, man, I was expecting that the virtual world working from home was going to be so much different than it is. I was going to take advantage of no longer having to commute. I was going to be able to just, not have to worry about spending so much time getting ready to go to work in the morning. And yet I feel like I'm working more, hours and not getting nearly as much done. And one of the strategies that she said just kind of dawned on her just that very week, last week while we were meeting was, look, Joe, I realized that if I were at school, if I were back at work, 3:30, 4:30 comes around, I'm done. I'm leaving campus. Like my last student's done, I'm off. Why am I not doing that here? What have I done in setting up my day where 3:34, 4:30 comes around and I'm still kind of in the weeds? I'm still doing things. No, I need to reconsider. And for her, that strategy was changing everything. It had only been a couple of days, but she realized that by trying to mimic her work schedule at home, that was helping her create those boundaries. Like, hey, at this time I'd be doing this. Why am I not doing that here? Why am I not taking my break now? I'd be taking it at school or at work.
Yeah. So like part of a big thing for rhythm is creating boundaries. And what I completely agree with you on that one. You guys know that I spoke with Chopra Global, and one of the employees there was saying that she's waking up. So they have the West Coast and East Coast, right? So she's on the East Coast. She's on the West Coast. So 6 a.m. there is 9 a.m. in New York, right? 6 a.m. in LA is 9 a.m. in New York. So she's waking up earlier than she usually does. And she's checking her phone immediately and seeing an email and feeling like she has to respond. So I said to her, that's your choice. Is that a company policy that you need to respond at 6 a.m. in the morning? No. So why are you doing it? Put your phone away. Don't look at it. I know it's hard, but don't look at it until the time that you typically look at it, And she's like, well, I'm getting emails at 4 a.m. and this and that. Okay. So they're there. And I know it can cloud your space, but put your phone away. Like you don't need to attend to something at 4 a.m. in the morning or at 6 a.m. in the morning. So set boundaries for yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. You know, things are always going to be there. News is always going to be there. Emails is always going to be there. Work for school is always going to be there. Lesson planning is always going to be there. Text messages from kids, it's always going to be there. You have to set your boundaries and take that time for yourself.
Brooke, that reminds me, I can't remember the name of it, but the book that you've read that you tell us about all the time, Start Your Day with Yourself, right? Like get up in the morning.
Miracle Morning, yeah.
Yes, that's the one. It's on
best,
my read list. But get up and do something for yourself, because if you jump right into that email at 6 a.m., it's going to lead to the emails at 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. Then you're in your meetings, then you're in your day, then your day is ended and you've done nothing for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And as a parent, like you guys are, you know, sometimes you do need to just wake up a little bit earlier before your kids wake up and do the things for yourself. So, you know, like people are saying, well, what am I supposed to do? You know, my kids are at home, or we're homeschooling, this and that. Like, unfortunately, yeah, you may need to change your routine a little bit to feel better about yourself. And it may feel weird at first, you may be tired at first, but to get those things accomplished for yourself before you have to take on this crazy day is awesome.
I think also it's important in that example, especially Brooke, thinking about the families who are home with kids and they're trying to replicate or reproduce like a full school day, kind of tempering that with the reality of like, hey, you've got 8 hours of work you're planning on doing. You're trying to plan out 7, 8 hours for your child to do school things. You have time to eat, got to use bathroom, hoping you're sleeping at night. That's more than 24 hours. Something's got to give, and that's okay. It's okay that you are able to look at that and figure out where are the areas where, like, man, that extra 2 hours is just, that's going to put us over the edge. We're not going to be functional. We're going to be at each other's throats. Let's just do away with that.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay during this time, because goodness knows that. I mean, this is maybe for another time, but entire school systems are doing that when they're kind of acknowledging what's going on and being like, you know what, we're just not going to do grades for this semester because we can't expect that. And so anyways, I think just tempering like let's get this done with a sense of within reason, because ultimately our own mental health and our capacity to still be sane 5 months from now, 8 months from now, a year from now is a big part of the kind of the equation that we're trying to solve.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Creating your own rhythm, creating boundaries, being okay with, having bad days. Again, we're not perfect. The world is changing. So you may have your rhythm for a couple of hours one day, and then you may have a breakdown, but you got to have that breakdown to break through and create a new rhythm for yourself.
Absolutely. So don't be afraid, parents, to submit assignments past the due date for your children. Ooh. That's okay. If they're having a meltdown, which happened in my household this week, my daughter, who's very independent, structured, organized, gets her stuff done. This week was not the week. We had lots of past due things when I looked at her list on Friday evening. And on Saturday, she couldn't even wrap her mind around it. It was complete meltdown. So why? No. So
yeah. And don't tell your kids this, but a lot of professors and teachers are giving extensions.
Use it as you need to, right? You have that freedom and flexibility to use that, and give yourself some grace, give your family some grace, and do what's going to work for you. And at the end of the day, happiness over turning in something for a predetermined deadline is more important.
Totally. I just wanted to share something with our community. I posted it a few days ago on our Morning Joe with Christina and Brooke page. And it's a quarantine bingo. And really, it's just for you to kind of think about things that are proven scientifically to make yourself feel better. And like Joe said, you can do one or two things. You don't have to check off everything on your to-do list. Don't create unrealistic to-do lists right now. Do one thing each day that's going to make you feel good. So here are some ideas of things that you can do, again, that are scientifically proven to make yourself feel better. So I know I get lost in reading. I know it's hard for a lot of us ADHDers to read, but give yourself a page a day or put a podcast or audiobook on, and just listen to it for a little bit. Like if you get frustrated or, you want to start your day with this, just walk, you know, start your morning with a glass of water. We so often just go straight for a coffee. Drink water and it will calm the nervous system. Exercise. Did you know that New York Post came out with an article that said that exercising is actually helpful for coronavirus symptoms? So if you exercise for 30 minutes cardiovascular a day, it can help you fight off the symptoms. So, all of these things have made me, my clients, and in science, people feeling better. So you can figure this out on your own or put your choice here, but see if you can find something each day to look forward to for yourself and stick to it. So
This is
we'll share
awesome,
this
Brooke.
again. Thank you. We'll share this again on our page so people don't have to scroll down. I'll add it to our comments.
Well done, Brooke. You always bring it home for us with amazing resources. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I love hearing those research-based stories as well. Don't forget, this week we were giving away a basket. So we're going to go through the page and see who gave the most shares, likes, and we will be contacting you for your information so you can get that delicious, beautiful basket so that you can practice some self-care strategies. And then also, I know I'm so excited, also on Friday of this week, we still have spots left if you want to have some free lunch and hang out with Brooke, where she can go over some strategies for moving your business online. So just because we're all virtual doesn't mean you have to stop working. We're going to show you how to do that. So come visit us on Friday for some free lunch, and we can't wait to see you all there.
So Christina, should we put the link in the comments also?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, great. And right now, you were saying that we have people from many different ranges. I know some.
Yeah, we do. We have some clinical psychologists, we have coaches, we have some educators, so a variety of backgrounds that'll be coming to hear Brooke's talk on Friday. So
Yeah.
it really is applicable to a variety of audiences. So please come if you're interested, even if you bring just one thing home, I think it's good. So
Yeah, and I know that on my end, I have some people who are like small business owners who have products that they're selling. And then another person that I know who's a yoga instructor taking her business online. So yeah, it's really anyone, CEOs, administrators, educators, employees, employers, everything, small business owners.
It's awesome.
Can't wait.
Me either. We'll see you Friday.
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and a free lunch from DoorDash.
Free lunch. You'll get your code Friday morning.
Now I have to think about what I'm going to order.
So many options.
So many options. All right. So we'll see everyone on Sunday of next week. And for those lucky people who get a spot on Friday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Have a good week.
You too. Bye.